Mike Rizzo has found his way to the top floor of the ballpark. It's great to see you, Mike, and congratulations on the pickup of your option. You are with us through the 2018 season. So you give out some contracts this week, but you get one too.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to put it behind us and look forward to the business at hand, which is winning games and preparing for the rest of the season. We've got the amateur draft coming up, which is like Super Bowl Sunday for us. So we're looking forward to getting down to work now.
And this young man you obtained, this Joe Ross guy, looking pretty good today.
Joe, man, he competes, and he's got the poise of a veteran and good stuff, and he's a great athlete. And there's a lot to like about Joe Ross.
JT Real Muto, the Miami catcher, leads off, and the count's even 1-1.
Well, there's a lot to like about all the guys you signed in the offseason. I mean, everybody you picked up has done their job, starting with Daniel Murphy and all the bullpen guys, and the bench has been fantastic.
Yeah, the game plan we had going into the season was, we recognized, we didn't have the perfect team and the perfect roster. We weren't as balanced as I liked it to be. So we went out and did our thing and, tried to acquire players that would help us in all aspects of roster construction, and it just gives the manager more tools to work with, and I thought the bench was and the bullpen were two big parts of it.
Right up the middle, a slider that Joe, maybe for the first time today, didn't bury low and outside to a right-handed batter, and JT Real Muto has a base hit. Going down to the number 8 spot now with Adeiny Echeverria. So the Nats have picked up Mike's contract option. Another 2.5 years, farm system up there in the top 6 in baseball. 2012, the division-winning playoff year. Major League Baseball Executive of the Year. And Mike, this was no accident. When you came here, the Diamondbacks were so highly rated. They were number 1 as the minor league organization. So you've brought that approach with you to D.C. And I don't know, is there a formula? What is the approach that you try to take in building 2 different organizations?
Well, as we did in Arizona, when I got there, and when we got there, it was an expansion franchise, so we were starting from ground zero as we were here. And believe me, this is not the Mike Rizzo hour. It's the people that we put in here. That's the thing I'm most proud of. If I can pat myself on the back for one thing, it's that we put together a really good staff. Scouts. We brought in scouts, and the learners allowed us to pay the guys to come here. The best and the brightest minds in the front office, our analytical department, our scouting and player development department. Guys that are never around the ballpark that the normal person doesn't know about, but he's grinding it out in the car somewhere in the country. The Doug Harris's, Chris Klein's of the world that get very little credit, but mean the world to us, and that's what this thing's all about.
Well, I mean, how has your life changed besides the obvious since you were that guy? I mean, you were the guy that grinded it out, drove everywhere, and now here you are with an extension, GM of one of the best teams in baseball.
Well, you go from the world of getting up at 6 o'clock every morning, be in the airport, you're on a flight, going to another game, seeing another city, unpacking, backing up the car and driving 55, 60,000 miles a year. And those physical rigors to really the mental rigors, the stress and the management of the people above you and the hundreds of people that you control below you.
Mike Rizzo with us here in the top of the 3rd.
I have trouble remembering to feed my dog.
We have a lot of assistants. I've got a lot of assistants.
2-0 pitch. It's fouled off the other way. Mike, going back to decisions coming out of spring training, I think the average fan might be interested to know, because you procure the players, you bring them into the organization during the offseason. At the end of spring training, is it a joint thing with you and Dusty, who stays, who doesn't, and how does that process work, and how difficult are some of those decisions?
Well, it definitely, this whole thing is a team effort. It's, Dusty's involved in the offseason when we acquire players, because he's got information and context that may have vital information about where we're going and who we're trying to obtain and that type of thing.
Well, Joe Ross jamming Echeverria. That one sneaking over the reach of Ryan Zimmerman because he was holding the runner. And now Jose Fernandez has a chance to move up both with a bunt.
How seamless has it been having Dusty Baker as your skipper? It seems to us up here, you're obviously in way more contact with the whole scenario than we are, that it couldn't be going better.
Yeah, well, he's an easy guy to communicate with. He's you know, very much like myself, very upfront. You know, very black and white, no gray areas. And you know, we talk baseball, we talk personalities, we talk you know, all sorts of stuff. You know, like, you know, the general manager. You know, interactions is on a daily basis, but you know, he's a person that has done this for so long and so successfully that you know, you let him take care of business. And I go in there every day, every night, win, lose or draw. You know, what do you need? What are we looking for? Do we need to make a change? Do you need a bullpen arm? Do you need this? Do you need that? And we discuss it. And some meetings take an hour, and some meetings take a minute. So it's a good rapport and a good relationship, and you know, it was a very smooth transition with not only with the front office and Dusty, but with Dusty and the players.
Jose Fernandez, 1 sacrifice bunt this year, 14 in his career. Rendon, Zimmerman pinching from the corners. Espinosa wheeling his way over to third, and that's a perfect bunt to take third base out of play. And so it's Rendon to Drew on a 5-4 sacrifice. Mike, couple of really big things happening this week. The Strasburg extension, and then Max Scherzer. First of all, Max, you brought him here to win games, but does it amaze you the way he wins some of these games that you have brought him in here for?
Well, you know, I can honestly say it does. Anything he does not surprise or amaze me. You know, we recognized this back when he was pitching at the University of Missouri. We drafted him, I think, 16th or 15th overall back in 2006 when I was with the Diamondbacks, and we saw, you know, what we liked about him was, you know, his stuff was good, and you know, he's physical and all that stuff, but the way he attacked was the thing that I remember writing in my report was a separator for me. You know, he attacked the hitters. He loved swing and misses. He disliked the batters when they got in the batter's box, and I think that kind of was something that I remember saying, recognizing it. I remember telling people about it, and a guy that you know, kind of you know, forgive the pun, but he was a steely-eyed, you know, kind of a pitcher that that went after you and attacked you, and that was kind of the personality and the stuff that we wanted back in the day. And when we acquired him at the time, you know, he's had great success coming off a Cy Young and that type of thing, and you know, he's been as advertised.
This ball popped up left side. Anthony Rendon, glove for shade, catches the fair ball, and a big second out with Martin Prado coming up. And then Strasburg, you're now that it's been 5 days or so, your thoughts on Steven? He's pitched since then. He's won another ball game, and he's 6-0.
We thought all along he's a 27-year-old that, you know, we think is just scratching the surface. He's a guy that rushed through the big leagues. You know, partly our fault, partly my fault, but his stuff forced us to quicken him through the big leagues. It's just because he was so good in the minor leagues. But you know how it is, FP, that in carpets, you know, you learn a lot pitching in the minor leagues. You learn about, it's not only how hard can you throw, where can you throw it, how many pitches you have, but it's you know, how do you go through the grind of every 5 days? How do you cover first? How do you field your position? How do you handle the bat offensively? Those are all the things you learn by throwing 200-300 innings in the minor leagues like most people do. This guy zipped through the minor leagues so fast that he didn't have that chance. I think he's just starting to figure out the full repertoire, what it takes to be a really good elite starting pitcher, and you know, we feel that his best days are ahead of him, not behind him, and he's been pretty darn good, you know, in the past, and we're looking forward to him continuing that in the future.
And how to be a good teammate, how to be a winning player, things you learn at the minor league level that are really tough to learn at the highest level if you haven't spent a lot of time in the minor leagues, and maybe that influences you taking your time with a guy like Lucas Giolito.
Well, it does, and that comes into play because the sign of him allows us to be more patient with our younger players. The next wave of, you know, as we like to call it, you know, Giolito and the Voths and the Lopez's of our system. That, you know, that we have 4 or 5 established starters that are in the big leagues and that we control for an extended period of time. It's something that we're allowed to do.
One more thing, Mike, about Strasburg. I remember back in 2012, and you explained to us broadcasters what you were going to do with the so-called shutdown, and you said something I will never forget. You said, I don't want to look this young man in the eye a year or so after his surgery, if we bring him back too soon, and say, now your shoulder's ready for surgery. Now you get to look him in the eye and say, hey, here's a new contract. Job well done. So you, in my opinion, you've been vindicated on that count because you took a lot of heat for that situation.
Well, we did, and that's
lost in the sun. Stephen Drew on that pop fly. Absolutely right in the sun, because this time of the year it's right behind home plate, directly in the eyes of the second baseman.
Oh, right when you think Joe Ross is going to wiggle out of that jam, watch him put his hands out. I don't see it. I don't know where it is. And then at the last second, he tries to stab at it. And I don't care how long you've been playing. There's nothing you can do about that. The only thing, in hindsight being 2020, is you're just hoping for some help from somebody else. But how do they know you can't see it until you put your arms out? By then, it was probably too late.
Tough break. 2-run score. Real Muto and Echeverria home on that one. And here's Yelich. Anyway, Mike, I know that was a tough call and some vindication now, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. It's, we took some heat for that, but hey, it's, as I said then, I'll say it now. I slept like a baby throughout the whole process, and you have a relationship with these guys and their parents, and when we took them as a 20-year-old, I promised the parents we'd take care of them, and we fulfilled our end of the bargain, and he rewarded us for it by staying at home for the team that was loyal to him. He was loyal to us. So we've done it with him. We've done it with a lot of players, and vindication's not what I was looking for. But every 5 days when he's on the mound, I feel good about our chances to win that game on that day. So in that regard, we're proud of the way we handled him, Zim, and the guys that were before him and after.
Italians, Bob, we don't look for vindication. We get revenge. And Mike has a list, a hit list of all the maybe pundits out there that were all over him that year. So
it was a long list.
He's got a long list, and he has a long memory, and he'll get his revenge. He doesn't care about vindication.
Hey, the revenge is a ring.
That's exactly right. That's
2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs, and that's a little bit outside. Well, that gets the call at 2-2. Hey, Mike, real quick before we let you go, just 2 outs. Your thoughts on the ball club so far? What needs to get better? I mean, 9 over 500, nothing to be mad about, but can this club get better?
I think we can. We need guys to hit like they're supposed to hit. I think that's our major conversation that we had. We need Zim and Jason to get the bat going. We need Ben to get out of spring training mode. He's a month behind everybody else, and get it rolling. So once we get guys hitting on all cylinders, or a majority of guys, I think it'll even out. Murph's not going to hit 400 for the season, and I don't see Revere hitting 090 either.
Hey, Mike, thanks.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Mike Rizzo with the Nats at least through the end of the 2018 season.